Number 4 is update your resume and your cover letter. After doing the research to know the industry that you want to work in, at least reaching out to people to network and also getting yourself certified to know whether your skills and qualifications are transferable to the industry that you want to work in Canada. The next thing that you actually need to do is to make sure that you've updated your resume and your cover letter to reflect the Canadian style of resume. In terms of resume formats, there is the functional format and there's a chronological format, or you can also go with the hybrid format. You will need to do the research to know which format at least matches the experience that you have based on the qualification that you have and the industry that you are targeting. With resume, it's a whole big topic, so I plan on doing a whole video on that one to walk you through it, to be able to at least prepare your resume to meet the Canadian style format. But for the meantime, I'll share with you a few tips and tricks to help you at least update your current resume whilst we wait on that video. There's one thing that you have to know: the Canadian style of resume highlights your experience and at least your skills that are transferable from wherever you are coming to the industry that you want to enter, and even the type of job that you want to apply to. So whatever the case may be, you need to make sure that the resume that you are submitting is tailored to meet that particular industry. So you are using the right jargons, you are picking up the right terms, and you are using the right acronyms in that particular resume. And also make sure that it's tailored to meet the particular job that you are at least applying to, so that they will know that the skills that you have are transferable. Because there are some job titles that you will quote that does not even exist in Canada, but in your home country might exist. You need to make sure that the skills that you are demonstrating are all transferable to that particular job. And trust me, a well-written resume and cover letter will definitely help secure you that job that you've always wanted. Because since being here and also in the role that I'm currently in, I've seen a whole lot of resumes coming across my desk where people are trying to apply for jobs in my particular company, and you realize that a lot of these guys are making the basic mistakes. And I always advise that if you don't have the time to at least take time to at least go through, do the necessary research and tailor your resume to meet the Canadian job market, feel free to at least reach out to somebody who is a professional in that particular area to help give you at least a standard resume that you can tailor based on the jobs that you will at least be targeting. Because trust me, a well-written resume and cover letter will help you to stand out when it comes to all other applicants in terms of the job that you are applying to. Because the resume is supposed to help get you to the interview. And if the recruiter is looking at that resume, they should be able to tell whether you meet the particular qualification that they are looking for. And that cover letter will at least help sell you to that particular recruiter and tell them and explain to them how you are different from any other person who is submitting their resume and cover letter for that particular job. When you are tailoring your resume to meet the Canadian job market standard, you need to make sure that at least you are highlighting your achievements and all the experiences that you have coming into Canada. Also, you need to make sure that you are clear and concise about the job descriptions that at least you had back home, so that anybody who is reading about your resume will have a clear understanding of exactly what you are bringing to the table. You also need to make sure that you are including all the relevant informations when it comes to you as a person, be it your education, work experience, any qualifications that you have that will make you stand out of the lot, any certifications that you have. You will need to make sure that all these things are articulated on your resume, so that any person looking at it will see what you are bringing to the table at a go. The average recruiter will spend less than a minute on your resume, and when they pick it, they should be able to at least tell that this is a resume that I would like to read. This is a candidate that I'm interested in to at least explore further to see what that person has to offer. So if you look at a standard Canadian resume, you realize that most people will start with a profile of what they have to offer. They will talk about the experiences that they have, all the certificates and degrees that they hold, what they are currently doing, all the at least certifications that they hold now. If they are undertaking any particular courses, they will list all those things there in more like a bullet form. And like I said, we will take time to at least pick a Canadian style resume and go into detail in a subsequent video The whole idea about the profile is it tells any recruiter who is reading it what you have as a candidate, what you are bringing to the table. And if they like what they are reading, they will now go further and look at all the other sections that you have. And also your cover letter should be tailored to the job or the Canadian job market, the kind of job that you are applying to. It should at least show anybody who's reading it that you've done your research when it comes to that particular role. You've done your research when it comes to that particular company, to make sure that at least they know that you are somebody who has actually read about the company and not just applying for applying's sake, because they would want to know that as a candidate, you've done the research and you tick all the boxes and you have the right questions to ask even when you come to the interview, so that they know you are a good fit when it comes to that job description. The mere fact that you have the qualification doesn't mean that you qualify for that particular role. In that cover letter, you need to explain and show that you are a good fit for that particular role. That's why the cover letter is very key when it comes to applying for those jobs. If you are just applying for what we call normally survival jobs, something that might be paying you by the hour, sometimes you might not require the cover letter. But if you are applying for, let's say, a salary job, a job that requires some kind of professional experience, some kind of professional training, then you need to use that cover letter to show them that you are a good fit, and at least they should call you in to at least hear more about you. Additionally, also make sure that your cover letter is well written and is error-free. A cover letter that's full of error will tell the recruiter that you are somebody who is not attentive to detail. No need to write multiple pages. Just one page might just be enough to explain to them that you are a good fit for that role. So here are some examples on how you can prepare your resume and cover letter. Some tips that at least personally I have used in the past that I feel you can apply when it comes to preparing your resume and your cover letter. First is make sure you've researched the company and the job description. Like I said, this will help you to at least tailor your resume and cover letter to meet that particular job description, because you know the values and what the company is actually looking for, so you can tailor your resume and cover letter accordingly. Secondly, use clear and concise format when it comes to your resume and your cover letter. Avoid using complex language and jargons that might not be familiar with the Canadian employer that you are targeting. Thirdly, highlight your skills that are transferable to the Canadian job markets from your background that you are coming from. So for example, if you are somebody who has experience in customer service, emphasize your ability to at least communicate effectively and provide excellent customer service. Fourthly, use verbs to describe your accomplishments and responsibilities. So for instance, instead of saying responsible, you can say something like managed or even oversaw. Lastly, proofread your resume and cover letter to make sure that it's error-free and there are no grammatical errors. Because the last thing you want to do is to tell your future employer that you cannot read and write properly. My advice is consider asking a mentor or a friend to even proofread your resume and cover letter, so that at least you know somebody else has gone through it to give their feedback and check for errors. Overall, preparing a well-written resume and cover letter is going to be crucial when it comes to this job search in Canada. So make sure at least you have one that you know can get a job done for you. If you need a personalized experience to somebody to help you to at least work on your resume and your cover letter, you can reach out to me. I'll leave my Calendly in the description column. Just book some time. We can sit down and go through it together. And like I said, I'll take time to prepare a full video, possibly a master class on just resume and cover letter. Until then, feel free to at least reach out to me and we can get that one done, so you have a personalized resume and cover letter that you can at least adapt based on the jobs that you are targeting in the industry. Step number 5,